Hello again. Welcome to the 7 Minute Spotlight, where we talk about stories, ideas, and concepts for inspiration and encouragement. And today's story is personal in that it's something that's happened in a conversation that I had. And then we're also going to take a look at some content from a movie. To set the story out right off the bat, my son Jason is a musician, along with the other things that he does. Music for Jason and I are more of a hobby than anything else. But Jason does play in a band, and recently they had a gig, and what was going on about that gig is what I want to share. But before that, I want to go to a story. It's probably about 8 or 9 years old. At another time, I had gone to a venue where a band was playing. I know the fellows that are in the band, and one of the guitar players, his name is Tim, and I were having a conversation about that type of gig. You know, the fellows that are in those kind of bands, men and women both, you have your rehearsal time, you've got your own practice time, you got your investment in the equipment, you travel to the venue, you have to set up, perform, tear it down, travel back home. And if you really look at how much you get paid, you know, sometimes I don't even know that you're making minimum wage if you count all the effort that goes into it. But as Tim pointed out, you do it because you love the music, and it's for the music that you're doing it. And he also made an additional comment. At that time, Elton John was still touring. And he said, you know, Elton doesn't need the money. So it's not that he's doing it for the money. Yeah, he gets paid and he gets the accolades and everything. But they also are doing it for the music. And it was just 6 years ago that Charlie Daniels passed away. And that was during when we were all shut down with COVID. But he still had gigs on the books that they were going to perform when COVID was over. And Charlie was in his 80s. People perform music because of the music, and the passion is there. The compensation of the accolades, yeah, they're great, and some people do well with it, but it's about the music. Well, Jason had a gig, and it was a similar situation. He and I talked about it that day. Had to go at, say, like 11 or noon and set up, then go back at 5 to do a sound check, go back again at 7 to perform from, say, 7 till 10. You got to tear everything down, take it home. His band, like others, they get together to rehearse when they can. You got investment in the equipment, and it just don't make a lot of money with it. And I had pointed this out of what Tim had said, that is for the music. And Jason said yes. And for him, there's a lot of people that follow their band. And when he sees these people and they hear their favorite song, he says, and you're on the stage and you look out there and you see the smiles on the faces because the song means something to the person that's hearing it, that smile is part of the compensation. That smile is enough. That smile is what makes it worthwhile. And he's absolutely right. And that brings me to the movie Field of Dreams. There's so much within that movie, but I caught something recently. By recently, I'm going to say in the last 5 years. But in seeing that movie, there's the interaction in there where Ray, who's played by Kevin Costner, and then Terrence Mann, who's James Earl Jones, and they travel. And again, it's a fantasy. We got to admit this movie is a fantasy. This is not real life. But they traveled to Chisholm, Minnesota, and they find this ball player that had been in the minor leagues, a little bit in the major leagues. And because he wasn't going to make it in baseball, loved baseball, he went on and became a doctor. And in this small community in Minnesota, had a big impact both on the people's health and on the well-being of the community. If there was a special project, people needed something for contributions or whatever, Doc Graham was always there in the background, willing to help out. But Ray asked him the question, if you could fulfill your dream, if you could do this, what would it be like? And he gives this description of a bright blue sky and winking at the pitcher like you know something that he doesn't, and hitting the ball solid and stretching a double into a triple, scoring a run, driving a run in, all those kind of things. And Ray asked the question, if we could fulfill that promise, would you want to? And in thinking about it, he said it's a disappointment that he didn't make it into baseball, but it would have been a bigger disappointment had he not become a doctor. Well, as the movie transpires, they pick up a young Archie. Again, it's a fantasy. And they go to the Ball Diamond that's in Iowa. And Archie actually ends up playing out his dream. It's a blue sky, winks at the pitcher, slides into third base after stretching out the double. All the things that he had said was what was going on. But there's a little controversy on the sidelines with Ray's family And a lot of it you can even say about what the vision was and what people were seeing and not seeing. And a little girl falls off the bleachers and is going to need attention. And so young Archie comes to the side of the field and looks and sees that he's needed and steps across the line into the would-be foul ground area and tends to the little girl. But then Ray realizes by looking at this point, Doc Graham, that he can't go back, that he cannot go back onto the field as the young man that he was and continue living out his dream. And there's apologies, and Doc Graham walks away out into the outfield. And then the other character, Ray Liotta, played the part of Shoeless Joe Jackson. He yells out, "Hey, rookie, you were good." Sometimes that's what we want. It isn't all these other things that add up, is that we want to hear somebody say, "Hey, that was good. Hey, you meant something. Hey, thank you. This had an impact on me." In Jason's gig, he made $100. And he told me he used that $100 to buy ice or roller skates for his daughters. They're 5 years old and 3 years old. It wasn't about the money. It was about the music and the smiles. And so the challenge for us, the challenge for me, the challenge for the rest of us is, what is the talent that we have, or what is this thing that we can contribute that makes us impact other people, but also puts us in a position where we can hear, "Hey, you were good." We're not doing it for the accolades, but it's our natural calling. For example, I run a business, but my calling as a storyteller is to share these stories, share the concepts, so that it motivates other people so that they can live their best life. God has given each one of us certain abilities, and we have to examine that. And it's not about our career. It's not about what we have. It's not about what we do. It's about who we are. So think about that today and this week. What is your special talent? What is it that you do well that you can share with others and hear, "Hey, rookie, you were good." God bless you all. We love to hear from you. The contact information is on the screen. Have a blessed week. Have a good day.